Kia ora folks, Hugh Modelly here, and in today's video I'm going to be unboxing Zvezda's 1/72nd scale Soviet attack helicopter MI-24V slash VP Hind. So let's get started. Alright, so starting off with the box, on the front we have this lovely image of the MI-24 flying over what seems to be Afghanistan with a nice explosion in the background. Quite like this image, it's quite striking. Up top we have the scale, 1/72nd scale. Across top we have MI-24 in the Russian, and then we have the company name, Zvezda. Pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, don't know, just let me know in the comments. Down below it shows this is part of the Russian helicopter line, and here we have the English translation, Soviet attack helicopter MI-24V slash Hind. Here we have a little bit of information saying it's a model kit, and then a few tokens here. Not really sure what they're for. On this side, we can see the Russian translations and then the English translation on the other side. It's basically the same as on the front of the box. Up top, we have a few other kits that Zvezda provide. A couple of the MI-24s, another helicopter. All these are in 1/72nd scale. Then over here, we have the item code 7293. Then flipping on down to the bottom, we have another helicopter that Zvezda provide. We also have scale, how many parts, 270, and the length, 29.8 centimeters long. We have a barcode here, and then decals and some paint callouts here. There's also a little bit of information on the tooling dates here. And on the back, we have some information about the MI-24 in Russian and English. Russian being on top, English on below. We have the same information that's on the bottom. Then we have the same writing at the front of the box, just in Russian and English again, and a few photos of the aircraft built up. And then we have a QR code and company name. So that's everything on the box. Now let's take a look inside. So taking a look inside the box, you get this other box, quite sturdy cardboard box, similar to how ICM actually package their kits. So opening this up, we have our decals and clear parts in a separate bag on top. We have our main parts molded in grey plastic, and finally our instructions here in black and white. So I'll start off by taking a look at the decals. They come in this separate bag with the clear parts. So we'll remove the clear parts first, put them off to one side, and then here are the decals. Now I've never actually built a Zvezda's model, so I have no experience with their decals. They look fairly okay, a little bit thick, but I'm curious to see how they'll go down on the model. I won't be using all decals whenever I come around to building this kit, as I would like to do this MI-24 in Ukrainian markings, but of course I will be using the walkway, warning areas, and the control panel stuff. So we'll just have to see how they go down whenever I come around to building the model. Right, so now take a look at the instructions. So on the front of the instructions, we have quite a bit of information. So up top we have the same image that's on the box art, and then we have the MI-24V slash VP Hind E in Russian and English. We have some information about the helicopter in Russian and English. Down here we have warnings in various different languages, and then here a little bit of information on how to actually assemble the model kit. Then flipping over onto the next page, shows that we have two different versions that we can do, one in flight position and one landed with all the doors open. And then here we start putting on, shows decal placement here for our tiny decals, and then shows actually how to put decals on. So that's pretty neat. Then over here we have different markings, so there's three different versions, all of them serving in Afghanistan, like I suspected, and our paint callouts here. They are in black and white, which bugs me a bit, as you can't really tell what colours they are. You have to go and search around on the identification thing, but whatever. Anyway, here we start working on the cockpit, and we actually get pilots in this, and obviously I have looked ahead into the kit, and they look really detailed, so that's really neat. Then anyway, moving on here, we have the engine assembly, which is fairly detailed. I quite like that. We finish off the engine assembly up here and glue that onto the main body, as well as working onto the inside of the helicopter, and then we move on to the exhausts here, which look super detailed. I am definitely going to see if I can have these exposed, as they look absolutely brilliant. I could put this into a diorama, maybe a nice snowy diorama if I'm going in Ukrainian markings. On the next page, we have some more clear parts that we have to glue into place, as well as a few little panels here and there. Then we put some more clear parts on this side, and then start putting in some panels and more details onto the main body over here, as well as this small piece here, which allows you to rotate the cannon. On the next page, we have these two armored plating panels that go on either side of the cockpit, put a little bit on the tail, and then some other stuff that goes on the main fuselage. We've also got the assembly of the winglets. Flipping on over to the next page, we continue on our assembly with some other little bits and bobs, which I really do not know what they're called. I really need to do some further research into this. Then we glue our winglets on. We start gluing the canopies on, and then you have the option to have the engine exposed or closed. Definitely going to have it exposed because that detail is fantastic. On the next page, we begin putting on some weaponry and our landing gear if you choose to do this aircraft in the landed position. Have a few little radiator pieces stuck on. And then on the next page, we begin assembling our cannons. Now you get two different versions of cannons, a dual cannon or a single cannon, for dual cannon being for version 3 and the other cannon for version 1 and 2. Pretty sure the cannons, there must be cannons, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Then we start putting in some doors in the open or closed position, put some little radiator pieces on again, and then on the next page we have slightly larger radiator pieces. That's only for version 2 though, so if you're doing version 1 or 3, you just have the normal exhaust pieces here. Then we move on to putting on the actual rotary system, so put the blades on, and then get both of those glued into place. And then putting a couple of small fiddly pieces onto that. Finally, on the back, we have a sprue map, which is always handy to have. I always like it whenever companies do that. This allows you to check if there's any parts missing or anything like that. So that's the instructions. Now let's move on to the parts. So here are the clear parts. They seem fairly good quality. They are quite thin and you can see through them clearly, which is always a good thing, of course. Don't get loads, just a few pieces for the canopy so you can have it open or closed, and then of course get a few windows for the sides and a couple of lights. Now let's move on to the grey plastic parts. So taking a look at the grey plastic parts, here's our first sprue. On the sprue we have this underside piece here and the two armoured panellings go on the side of the cockpit. We have one of the cannons here and a few little other pieces to go on it. We have the other cannon up top. They seem to be moulded fairly good quality. Anyway, moving on to the next sprue. We have some of the weaponry on the sprue, and then a few other smaller details, the floor of the cockpit. We have like some other little bits and bobs for the weapons, and yeah, so on to the next sprue. This sprue has our blades, our winglets. We have a couple other small details. We have what seems to be some radiator pieces, so our hard points, a few doors, some more weapons, and yeah, again, seems to be fairly good quality of moulding. Next sprue, we have one side of our fuselage. Then we have a few doors. We have this very nicely detailed back plate here, a few other panels and everything. Then we also have our pilots as well down here. I'm not really sure if you can see those too well, but they are very well detailed. You can make out the straps, the creases in the trousers and everything. Then we have a few other little details. You see nice ribbing on the inside of the fuselage and some of the doors. And then our final grey sprue, this one here, has our other side of the fuselage, and then we have some landing gear here. The floors of the, well, inside the fuselage have some very nice detail there. Have our engines, those look very detailed. Can't wait to paint those up. We have some exhaust here. and then again some nice detailing inside. We also have some nice detailing over here, some pipes and stuff. And yeah, so those are sprues. They look fairly good quality. So that was the kit. Now, it looks very good. I'm very excited to get around to building it. If you want to pick up one yourself, you're looking for about 27, 28 bucks, something like that. So fairly good price rise for the amount of detail that you get in there. Those engines, all the wiring and stuff, the quality of those pilots, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this, and hopefully it'll become a future video soon. So I'm the Cube Modeler, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.